Hey everybody, Magic Mike here. I'm your wholesaler coach. I teach people how to wholesale deals automatically. I'm the people's stripper. Juan is he's the people's mentor. I'm the stripper. I strip it down and show you how to do it in your own business. And the topic for discussion today is how to use business credit to get the deals that no one else can. All right. So, first of all, I wanted to tell you about something. My papa, he passed away 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, and I was the only one in the family that could go out to him and meet him, and it was almost bittersweet because since I was the only one that was, me and the wife, were the only ones that were able to go out there. We were there for him in his last time on Earth, but then we ended up having to watch him pass. But I wanted to say that was something that I could only do because I'm an entrepreneur, because I've got these systems in place to flip houses. I'm the only one that can just get up and leave, and I don't have to ask my boss. I don't have to check with anybody. I didn't have to explain, well, this is a family member, this is why I need to leave. I didn't have to do any of that. So it was really nice just getting everybody in the car, packing up, going up there, and being there for him in his last couple days. So let me get back on topic. Using business credit to not supplement, but to do the deals you wouldn't normally be able to do. So I had a deal come in from a friend, and this was off of personal Facebook. So he comes in and basically tells me that he's got this house that he wants to sell. He just wants to look at his options. He's talked to 2 realtors, and they both give him different stories. It's not an exact science, not even a science. I would say that it's probably an art, if anything. And one said 60,000, one said 80. One said we might need to do a short sale for some reason, and didn't want to ruin his credit. So basically all he needs is, once I broke it down, I was like, well, what do you need? And basically what he needs is, he needs $20,000 on a down payment for a new place. And so he wants to move somewhere else, needs to move out of there. This place needs some work. It's in Atlanta. And aside from that, there is a $40,000 mortgage on the property. So he wants $60,000 for it. Meaning I would have to get it from him as a wholesaler at 60, and then I would have to sell it at 70,000 cash to an end buyer, a cash buyer. And if I were to go that route, 70 might be a little too expensive. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, so 70,000. Let's see, that's I'd have to add probably about 20,000 into it, and so that would be 90,000, and they'd probably sell it for 120. Not a really good deal, but what I said was, well, what if I could take over the mortgage? If I take over the mortgage and I start making the payments, all I really need to give him is $20,000. So I could technically get it for $20,000. Take over the mortgage. Almost consider it, my $20,000 down. Take over the mortgage. I get it probably at $650. Rent it out at $850, and just hold on to it, for the passive income. maybe even lease option it. Who knows? Maybe the area might come up in value since then, but there are different options. Another one that I could do is that I could reach out to some wholesaler friends of mine, some buddies, or maybe even myself, market to properties in the area that he wants to move to. So if he wants to move to this area, I could find 2-1 out there and then just give that one to him. Of course, I would need to purchase that property to give to him. So I could use the business credit to purchase that property or finance it and then sell it to him. He could be, I could make profit that way if I wanted to, and don't think like, oh, anything I can do to make, money off of my friends, really. But if you're doing real estate and you're good at something, you should get paid for it, and you should be compensated. Like, $200 a month would be perfect. They're getting a place that they want. You're getting, cash flow every month, where cash flow is where it's at. But as far as wholesaling goes, with this one, I could get it. I could assume the mortgage, or I could just start making payments on his behalf at $650, and then I could get the property under contract at $20,000 cash to him, in 30 days, as per the contract. So I get the property under contract at $20,000. Then I could sell the property, wholesale it to one of my cash buyers at $30,000, right? And just let them know, hey, there's a $40,000 mortgage tied to the property. Just be aware of that. You are now assuming that part of the property. This way, you can get in for a lot less, and that way it's not from 60 to 70, obviously. But this way, I can sell it for cheaper, and I may even sell it for $40,000. Who knows? It's a 2-1, but it's in a pretty good part of town. Now, looking at it again, I've also calculated what if it was a 3-bedroom, and by 2-1 I mean a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. So what if I add in a bedroom, or if I calculate that into the repairs that my end buyer is going to do to it? So that would bring up the value a lot more, and then I could sell it for a lot more, assuming that they turn it into a 3-1. If a 3-1 is not the best, highest and best use, meaning if you put in the 10 to 20,000 to make it add another bedroom, is it going to be worth it? Are you going to make more? If you spend 20,000 to make add this bedroom in, but then you end up making 20,000 more, well, that's not worth it, right? You want to increase the value, the money you could sell this property for. So if you put in 20, you want to add 30 to the value, and of course this property is not there. And then as a 3-2, adding in another bedroom and a bath, which would probably be $30,000 or $40,000 worth of work, seems like the best bet, because it's going to add $80,000 to the ARV, which is more than the 10 it normally needs, which is more than doing 20 for another bedroom, and then adding 20,000 to the profit. But this way, it's going to add the most amount of profit for the least amount of work for your end buyer. And if they can do that, I can potentially sell this house for $40,000. So he gets it at 40, puts 40 into it. He's now in at 80, right? So he then sells that whole package, or pays off the mortgage, sells that whole package to the homeowner. They list it with a realtor. They've essentially flipped that house, and so that's 80. That's 120, and then potentially this one is going to go for 200,000. So that's $80,000 profit if I do my math right, which I think is right. So, and I don't think a lot of wholesalers look at it this way, or they don't, you know, step back and really look at things. If you remember the movie Patch Adams, you know, with Robin Williams, you know, he puts his hand up at one point. He says, "How many fingers am I holding up?" And the guy says 5, and he says, "No, look past it." And he looks past it, and it blurs his vision, and then therefore he sees 10. He says, "See, you've got to look past the problem, or around the problem. You know, sometimes you just see something in your face, and you can't really think about it well. But you've got to think about other strategies, other ways. Well, what if we did this?" And this is definitely something I brought up to my mastermind. You know, well, what if I take over the mortgage? And unanimously, it was not that I take over the mortgage. It was that I wholesale the mortgage to the cash buyer. So I get the property under contract, and then I take the basically, you know, his mortgage payments, and then I transfer all of that to the buyer. I sell that all to the buyer. So I'm wholesaling the mortgage. I'm also wholesaling, you know, the property. And that way, since it's not all as one lump sum of like 60,000, it's doable because we broke it up in such a way. And you know, every job I've ever had, from McDonald's to Wally World, we'll call them, the Blue Place, Superstore, Cloud9, they've always wanted you to just do. Just go out and do it. This is what I need you to do. But you'll notice that the managers and the supervisors, they will always step back and spend a whole lot of time just figuring out what they're going to do or how they're going to do about it. But they don't want you thinking about that, because you know, you probably get paid by the hour, and they most likely get salary, you know, whatever the case may be. And there's a quote by Abraham Lincoln, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but I think it's, "If I have 8 hours to chop a tree down," he said, "he's going to spend 7 sharpening the axe." You know, he's going to be getting ready to chop it down. And you've got to take that kind of mentality. You know, instead of just sending out mail, or instead of just shooting everything out, you know, or talking to everybody, "Oh, you know, I'm flipping houses, you know, let's do some deals." You know, think about how is the best way to do this deal. Because, you know, if I were a new wholesaler, I most definitely would be trying to get it at 60, because that's what he was telling me. You know, this friend of mine who wants to sell his house is saying, you know, "I want to sell it at 60,000. I'd like cash. You know, I know you're into real estate and you buy houses, you know, with cash. So, you know, let's do it this way." And so I had to ask a bunch of questions that he really was like, "Well, wait, why are we doing it this way?" And then once I explained it, I was like, "Well, this is really what you want." You know, when you break it down, literally what you want is just that 20,000 a down payment into this next house. And similar to this that show where you start out with like a rock, and then you trade it, and then at the end of the episode he has a car. You know, you could potentially have another property out there and trade up to trade him. So I don't necessarily need to give him 20,000, but I can use my business credit to get that 20,000 and get into this property. And if business credit is something that may help you, because there's a lot of properties, there's about 70% of all the properties in the U.S. have a mortgage on them. And in order to do those, you're going to need to have actual credit, have actual money and cash. And in order to do those deals, you're going to need capital, which can be supplied in the form of business credit. So there should be a a link below if that's something you want to look into, and it's no obligation. There's no fee. We just look and see and pull a soft look at your credit and see if that's something that we can do. So my timer just went off. We're going to keep this one at about 15 minutes. So again, I'm Magic Mike. If you want one-on-one coaching, group coaching, there should be a link in the description below for that. If you want to upgrade to the one-on-one and work directly with me and get access to any of the group coaching content whenever you want, whenever you need it, we can do that as well. Most likely from the same link, because you'll just upgrade. And then we also now are going to push out a 12-week program where we're going to condense it all into 12 weeks to kickstart you to flipping houses in less than 30 days. So again, I'm Magic Mike, and I hope you found this helpful. And if you did, hopefully imagine what you'll get with the one-on-one coaching. So thanks, and Magic Mike out.
Thanks for watching the video. We appreciate your viewership. By the way, guys, make sure you subscribe to 100percentfinance.com. We have a plethora of tools that can help you succeed financially. We have a report on credit repair, 3 tips on how you can improve your FICO score. We also have a business credit ebook. We have a ton of real estate related documents, from deal analyzers to a mortgage calculator, a whole bunch of resources. You just have to subscribe. And one last thing, don't want to forget, we are offering free live webinars to answer your questions. This is only made available to our website subscribers. So you have to subscribe to 100percentfinance.com to receive the details as to the date, the time, and the call-in information for the webinars to answer your credit repair, business credit, or business funding needs, as well as your real estate related questions. Thank you guys again for watching, and subscribe.